In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum to all. Welcome to Virtual Learning System of Pakistan International School Time. Dear students, today we are going to review the second term syllabus quickly. If you don't understand some of the topics, try to understand now. So let's take a quick review. First of all, you all open your books and come on page number 26. On page number 26, we have a first unit of this term, unit number 5, animal reproduction. Dear students, if living things did not reproduce themselves, after a while, there would be none left. As each animal gets older and dies, it would not be replaced. So reproduction is the process by which animals produce offspring for the purpose of continuing the species. What is a reproduction? Reproduction is the process by which animals produce offspring for the purpose of continuing the species. Animals reproduce either by giving birth to live young or by laying eggs. Most animals produce eggs. So egg is the beginning of the animal life cycle. The growing animal embryo inside an egg gets its food from the egg yolk. This one called the egg yolk and egg white, which is also called albumin. These two parts of an egg contain all the nutrients needed for the growth of the embryo. So you must keep it in mind, that one called yolk and that one called egg white or albumin. Eggs of different animals are different colors, shape, and sizes. Some eggs are protected by a hard shell, while some are protected by jelly-like substance. See, eggs of different animals have different size. Bird's egg. Here is a typical bird egg. On the outside of the egg, there is a shell. This shell protects the growing animal inside, and there are microscopic, very tiny holes in the shell which allow air to enter so that the growing animal can get oxygen. See, here is a microscopic, very tiny holes in the shell. And what is the function of these holes? Which allow air to enter so that the growing animal can get oxygen. See how birds take oxygen with the help of these microscopic holes. And shell is also protect the growing animal inside the egg. Inside the egg, there is a yellow part called the yolk. Inside the egg, there is a yellow part called yolk. This is food stored for the embryo. The embryo is the growing animal inside the egg. It will develop into a new baby or animal. See, inside the egg, there is a yellow part called yolk. And this is the food stored for the embryo. The yolk and embryo are surrounded by a clear, sticky liquid called albumin or egg white. See, the yolk and embryo are surrounded by clear, sticky liquid called albumin or egg white. It cushions the growing embryo against shock, protects it from drying out, and provide additional nutrients for the growth of the embryo. So what is the function of egg white? It cushions the growing embryo against shocks, protects it from drying out, and provides additional nutrients for the growth of the embryo. That one called yolk, that one called albumin or egg white. That one, see, this one called shell. And shell is made up of special chemical called chitin. See, this one called shell, and this shell is made up of chitin. Insects usually produce a large number of eggs. Nearly all insects lay eggs. The outside of an insect's egg is made up of chitin. This is some hard material that their outer skeleton made up of. See, that one is the hard material that their outer skeleton made up of. This one called chitin. Insects' eggs are often laid on the underside of leaves. Insects' eggs are often laid on the insides of leaves. Some reptiles buy hard-shelled eggs, some lay soft and leathery or rubbery eggs. The eggs of fish and amphibians are very soft. They don't have a shell around them and they may dry out in the air, so they are protected by jelly-like substance. See, reptiles and fish eggs are protected by jelly-like substance. Here you see frog is amphibian, so frog eggs is also protected by jelly-like substance. Here you see that one, see this is the fish eggs, and fish eggs is also protected by jelly-like substance. Amphibians lay a large number of eggs. See, not only one cell, not only one egg. Amphibians lay a large number of eggs. As they don't protect them, the eggs can be damaged or eaten by other animals in the water. See, all these eggs, the fish eggs, and fish eggs is protected by jelly-like substance. That one is the frog eggs, and frog eggs is also protected by jelly-like substance. These are the fish eggs, and fish eggs is also protected by jelly-like substance. That one is the eggs of snakes. Eggs laid by snake have leathery shell. See, eggs of snake have leathery shell. These are the snake eggs, and eggs of snakes are leathery shells. They have leathery shell. I hope you understand. Now, revise the fill in the blanks of this unit. Number one, the new creature animal growing inside the egg is known as the embryo. The new creature animal growing inside the egg is known as embryo. Number two, the outside covering of a bird egg which protects the embryo is called shell. The outside covering of a bird egg which protects the embryo is called shell. The yellow part of the egg which stores food for the embryo is called yolk. I hope you remember the shape of yolk. The yellow part of the egg which stores food for the embryo is called yolk. Number 4, the clear sticky liquid inside an egg is called egg white. The clear sticky liquid inside an egg is called egg white. Number 5, the outer covering of an insect's egg is made up of a substance called chitin. The outer covering of an insect's egg is made up of a substance called chitin. Again, here you see the new creature animal growing inside the egg is known as the embryo. Number 2, the outside covering of a bird egg which protects the embryo is called shell. Number 3, the yellow part of the egg which stores food for the embryo is called yolk. Number 4, the clear sticky liquid inside an egg is called egg white. Number 5, the outer covering of an insect's egg is made up of a substance called chitin. Number 6, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and fish all lay eggs of different sizes. Here I just share the one interesting thing or some interesting thing. First of all, number 1 is the embryo inside a chicken egg takes 21 days to hatch. So you must keep it in mind. How many days the chicken egg to hatch? 21 days. And the ostrich egg is the largest bird egg. Its weight is 1.5 kg. So you must keep it in mind. The biggest or largest bird egg is ostrich egg and its weight is 1.5 kg, and the smallest egg is the hummingbird eggs which weigh only half a gram. Hummingbird egg weight is half gram and ostrich egg weight is 1.5 kg. So you must keep it in mind. I hope you understand this chapter. So let's start a second chapter. Unit number 6, plants. So come on page number 30. Plants are important. All of you know that we all need plants. They play an important role in our environment. All living things in the world directly or indirectly depends on plant for their food. Plants are the most important part of food chain. They not only provide us with food but also help us in our daily life. Plants provide shelter and food to wildlife and fish populations. When plants make food, they release oxygen, which we all need for breathing. Most medicines are made from chemicals taken from plants. Plants also provide materials like wood to make houses, furniture, and papers. So plants are very important for us. Here you see the importance of plants. Why are plants important? Because plants provide oxygen, plants provide food, plants are used in medicine, plants give us building material like wood, plants are used in our clothing, cotton, plants provide fuel, plants provide us with beauty and pleasure. So plants are very important for us. We cannot live without plants. You know that plants grow in all shapes and sizes. So scientists have discovered over 380,000 different species of plants. Some plants grow in a hot, dry desert where there is a little water, and others grow in or near water. All the plants on the earth make up the plant kingdom. All the plants on the earth make up the plant kingdom. So in plant kingdom, if we classify into two different groups. Number one is simple plants and other one is higher plants. In simple plants that lack of organs like root, stem, leaf, and flowers. And in higher plants, they have a complex body with complete organs including roots, stem, leaves, and seeds, and may have flowers and fruits also. So in simple plants that lack of organs like root, stem, leaf, and flower, and in higher plants, they have a complex body with complete organs like root, stem, leaves, and seeds, and may have flowers and fruits also. So plant kingdom are divided into two groups. One is simple groups and other is higher group. So you must be keep it in mind. In simple groups include algae, muscles, and ferns are belong to simple groups, and conifers and all flowering plants belong to higher plants. Keep it in mind, muscles and algae and ferns belong to simple plants. Conifers and flowering plants are belong to higher plants. Here you see this is a picture of plant. Here you see this is a picture of muscles and pine needles. That one. Simple plants and higher plants. Non-vascular plants are those plants they have not a proper vascular system. Like if you see they don't have a stem to supply the food to all parts of the plant, so they have not proper stem. They are only like leaves and plus flowers sometimes. So these are called non-vascular plant. And if we see this group of plants that don't have a well-developed transport system, you just keep it in mind, the non-vascular plants have not well-developed transport system because they don't have a stem. That one you see, this is a picture of muscles. That one also, these type of plants called muscles, and it belong to simple plants. See, here is the lack of organs, no root, no stem, no leaves. So these type of plants called muscles. See, that one also called muscles. Algae. Algae is also including simple plants. Algae are the simplest plants. They have very simple body. They don't have root, stems, leaf, flowers, or fruit. So then what makes algae a plant? It is because they have a chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a chemical. You see the green in color, that one is called chlorophyll. It is because they have chlorophyll and can make their own food. Their cells contain a cell wall made of cellulose. So algae can be both unicellular and multicellular also. They are found in ponds, lakes, and in other water bodies. They are a great source of oxygen and food for sea life. So this is a picture of algae. Algae are the simplest plant. They have a very simple body. They don't have roots, stem, leaves, and flower or fruit. And plus, They have chlorophyll and they make their own food. Their cells contain a cell wall made up of cellulose. Algae can be both unicellular or multicellular. They are found in ponds, lakes, and in other water bodies. They are a great source of oxygen and food for the sea life. Algae do not produce seeds, so they need other ways to reproduce. The simplest algae reproduce by cell division. Others reproduce by spores or fragmentation. Musses. The second group of simple plant is musses. Like algae, they also lack two roots, stem, or leaves. Having no roots, stem, or leaves means they lack a transport system known as the vascular system. Though they don't have true roots, they possess a root-like structure called rhizoid. In this way, they are a little more advanced than algae. Musses do not absorb water. Instead, they anchor themselves in the soil. Water is absorbed by the whole body of the plant like a pieces of sponge. Since they lack true root, stem, and leaves, they need to grow near water so that their bodies can absorb water. They reproduce by spores. So you must keep it in mind. They reproduce by spores. Here again we repeat about musses. The second group of simple plant is musses. Like algae, they also lack of true roots, stem or leaves. Having no roots, stem or leaves means they lack a transport system known as the vascular system. Though they don't have true roots, they possess a root-like structure called rhizoid. See that one. In this way, they are little more advanced than algae. Musses do not absorb water. Instead, they anchor themselves in the soil. Water is absorbed by the whole body of the plants like a piece of sponge. See, that one show the speech is piece of sponge. Since they lack true root, stem, and leaves, they need to grow near water so that their bodies can absorb water and they reproduce by spores. After we talk about fern, this group of plant is a little more advanced than algae and musses. They possess root, stem, and specialized leaves called fronds. That one called frond. Like musses, they don't reproduce seeds, flowers, and fruits. Instead, they reproduce by tiny dust-like spores. Their spores grow on the underside of their leaves. Due to the presence of root, stem, and leaves, they can grow taller than muscles and algae. But they need to grow near moist places because their spores need water to moisture. So fern is a little more advanced than algae and muscles because of they possess roots, stem, and specialized leaves called fronds. Like muscles, they also do not produce their seeds, flower, and fruits, but they reproduce by tiny dust-like spores, and their spores grow on the underside of the leaves. Due to the presence of roots, stem, and leaves, they can grow taller than muscles and algae. But they need to grow near moist places because their spores need water and moisture. So fern possesses roots, stem, and specialized leaves. Here you see, now we start the higher plants. Conifers belongs to higher plants. The fourth group of plants is conifers, see, which are gymnosperms. They don't produce flowers. Conifers are more advanced than fern since they produce seeds, but their seeds are not enclosed in a fruit or flower as the plant in this group lack of flower and fruits. They reproduce by their seeds. They have needle-like leaves. Since they have a well-developed vascular system, they can grow tall. So conifers belong to fourth group of plants and which are gymnosperms, and they don't have flowers. Conifers are more advanced than fern, and conifers are, but their seeds are not enclosed in a fruit or flower, and they reproduce by their seeds. They have needle-like leaves since they have well-developed vascular system, and they can grow taller. So this is the image of conifers plant. Flowering plant. You will have noticed that plants in a higher plant group have more body parts than those in the lower plants group. Flowering plants are also known as angiosperms, form the most advanced group in the plant kingdom. Like conifers, they have roots, stem, leaves, and seeds, but unlike conifers, they bear flowers. Their seeds are enclosed in flowers or fruits. Like conifers, they too have well-developed transport system called the vascular system, and they can grow very tall. So here you see the flowering plant is belong to higher plants. Okay, that one also. So higher plants group that have more body parts than those in the lower plant group, and flowering plant are also known as angiosperm. Keep it in mind. From the most advanced group in the plant kingdom. Next is fungi and yeast. Fungi are a special case. They can be classified neither as plant nor as animal. See, this is the image of fungi and yeast. And fungi are a special case. They can be classified neither a plant or nor an animal. Unlike plants, fungi cannot make their own food. Instead, they depend on other organisms for their food. And yeast and mold and mushrooms are some examples of fungi. Okay, and fungi is a special case. They can be classified neither as plant nor as animal. Because fungi, they cannot make their own food. They depend on other organisms for their food. Now, we revise the exercise also. In exercise number A, column A contains definition of the term and column B contains these terms. Match column A with column B. The food making process of plant called photosynthesis. The food making process of plant called photosynthesis. A group of plants that don't have well-developed transport system called non-vascular. A group of plants that don't have well-developed transport system called non-vascular. Organisms made up of only one cell called unicellular. Organisms made up of only one cell called unicellular. Organisms made up of many cells called multicellular. Fern leaves are called fronds. Fern leaves are called fronds. The group of plants having seed enclosed in their fruits or flower called angiosperm. The group of plants having seeds enclosed in their fruits or flower called angiosperm. And the green substance in plants which help them to trap the sun energy called chlorophyll. The green substance in plants which help them to trap the sun energy called chlorophyll. This is your exercise number A. Exercise number B. These plants don't have a vascular system to transport water and food to all parts of the plant. Rose, mango, muscus, money plant. So the plants don't have a vascular system called muscus. Which of these is not a plant? Fungi. Because grass is a plant, fern is a plant, muscus is a plant. So fungi is not classified as a plant. What do muscles have that apple tree don't have? Apple tree have stem, seed, and flower. But muscles don't have, muscles have that, muscles just have spores. Muscles don't have stem, seeds, and flower. Muscles have spores. The ferns have black dot-like structure on the underside of their leaves. These are called spores. One way that muscles and ferns are like is that they both are flowering plant, produce spores, or can grow in the area with very little water or angiosperm. The correct answer is they both produce spores. Muscles and ferns are like because they produce spores. Trees can grow very tall because of vascular system. Trees can grow very tall because they are vascular system. Which of the following is an example of non-vascular plant? Rose plant, no. Lemon plant, no. Pine tree, no. Muscus, because muscus don't have vascular system. Which of these is a process that allow plants to make their food? Photosynthesis. In photosynthesis process that allow plants to make their food. The substance which make a leaf green in color called chlorophyll. Why the plants are green? Because they have a substance called chlorophyll. Substance which make a leaf green in color because of chlorophyll. Which of the following can you not get from plant? You can get oil from plant, you can get cotton from plant, you can get wood from plant, but you can't get wool from plant. You can get wool from animal like sheep. Okay, so you must keep it in mind. Next exercise is fill in the blanks. The green substance in plants that traps the sun energy is called chlorophyll. A substance through which plants make their food is called photosynthesis. Seaweeds are simple plants that grow in the sea, like algae. Seaweeds are simple plants that grow in the sea. The branch of science which deals with the study of plant is known as botany. The branch of science which deals with the study of plant known as botany. The specialized leaf of a fern plants are known as fronds. The special leaf of a fern plants known as fronds. Muscles reproduce by their spores. Muscles reproduce by their spores. The root-like structure in muscles which support the plant in the soil is called rhizoid. The root-like structure in muscles is called rhizoid. It supports the plant in the soil. Dash the most advanced group. Angiosperm is the most advanced group in plant kingdom. Which one have needle-like structure? Conifers have needle-like leaves. Which one have a needle-like leaves? Conifers have needle-like leaves. Dash is a scientific term used for plants which have necked seed. Gymnosperm. Gymnosperm is a scientific term used for plants which has necked seed. I hope you understand all these exercises. Okay, dear students, after the review, I hope all your concepts are clear. And inshallah, in the next lecture, we revise the next two chapters. Okay, dear students, best of luck.